today's video, I'm going to show you how I cleaned up a filthy cuckoo clock. A lot of times you find a cuckoo clock and it's been in a box for a long time, stored in a dusty place, and this is what you might encounter. Unfortunately, for the one I received, it had an Asian topper and pendulum, so this isn't going to work. I'm going to have to get a different pendulum and topper for that. But everything else is there. There was a note saying that it's an 8-day. It's actually a 1-day. Sometimes people get this confused. The first thing I'm going to do is remove the chain rings and the hooks from the chains because I'm going to take the movement out. You don't have to do this step. You can always clean it with the movement inside, but I needed to remove the movement. And then I'm going to remove the hands. And sometimes these nuts can be a little stubborn getting off, but sometimes I need the help with some pliers. These didn't. And now I'm going to use a small screwdriver and take the screw out holding the bellows on the left and right side. And there's also a little finish nail holding these in. Sometimes people glue these in and it makes it extremely terrible to redo the bellow tops, but these weren't glued in, thankfully. And be sure to get the lift wires out too if you're doing this. All right. So next I'm going to remove the movement in the bird. Just 4 screws holding the movement in, and then there's a little set screw holding the bird on its perch. I'm also pulling out the chains, which is easy to do with the chain rings and hooks removed. And the bird just slides right off the perch. Okay, the movement is out. It is an antique movement. It's got the count wheel you see there. It's kind of dirty. It's going to need some cleaning. And then I'm going to remove the bird from the door, disconnect it, get it out of there. It's a cute little wooden bird. It's not plastic. The wooden ones are, I don't know, I like the wooden ones. One thing I like to do is keep all my parts together, so I'm using a coffee cup. Just be sure you don't mix up your coffee cup with your coffee. One time I accidentally drank paint thinner because I put things in the wrong container. I'm going to use Murphy's oil soap today with this, and you should add it to some warm water. And this cuckoo has some white spray paint overspray on it, and I tell you what, I was really impressed with the Murphy's oil soap on this. I'm scrubbing with a microfiber towel, and I'm scrubbing hard enough to get the paint off, sometimes digging my nail in a tiny bit, but I want to be careful and I don't want to remove too much of the stain. So there is kind of a balance there. There is some stain on my rag, but you know, it's just, I'd rather have the paint off there. My preference. So I'm going to keep going over the roof, and wow, already there is a huge difference between the sides of the roof, and the Murphy's oil soap it's just incredible, along with a little bit of elbow grease. And this is kind of the funnest part of cuckoo clocks for me. I really like cleaning them up and just getting them to their former glory, you might say. And I don't understand why so many cuckoo clocks I find have white overspray on the roofs, or even a little bit on the facade. You'll find this has happened more than once for me. I get a cuckoo clock to work on and somebody's painted something beside it. So whoever's doing that, I want you to stop. So next, I'm gonna give the inside just a little wipe down. Getting those bellow holes there. I just want to remove all the dust. This thing was really dusty. Might have been some drywall dust. It's got these cute little wooden doors so you can access the movement from the side. So those are kind of neat, real simple how they stay in with the little lever on the back. And with the Murphy's oil soap, you also later you want to go over it with just a damp cloth with some water without the soap, just to get any of the residue off. But it's just an incredible product, and this Cuckoo Clock is beginning to look a little more alive. Sometimes it's hard to get into these crevices, and the facade, I couldn't really tell at first because it was so dirty, but it's actually painted. The facade is not stained, it's painted, and I later took it off because I needed to paint the topper that I found with it to match, so they'd be the right shades. So at this step, if I would have known that, I would have taken the facade off. But just trying to get into all these grooves can be a little tricky, so you might see me use a paintbrush. Sometimes sticking the screwdriver into the rag and being careful not to push too hard. But really just want to try to get all of that dust out, because there is like decades of dust in there. And look how that dial pops just with a little bit of the oil soap. Man, this is going to be a good looking clock. So this is one that I'm going to fix up and resell, and hopefully it will be a good clock for someone. So getting into those crevices can be tricky. I just switched to a different paintbrush. I think that might be one of my sons. I can't remember. Anyways, it works good for getting into those places where the rag doesn't go as deep. But yeah, so it takes time, but it's totally worth it, because this Cuckoo Clock already, I mean, you look at it, man, it is looking good. So while I'm cleaning this, I want to recommend a channel to you. Mark Munnerlyn has a clock channel, and if you haven't seen his videos on Cuckoo Clocks, you need to check out his videos, because he has got quite the library. In fact, I'm going to put some links in the description for you, because the work he does on cuckoos and just the different problem-solving techniques he's made available, honestly, it's where I go to if I'm running into something I haven't before. I'm like, I wonder if Mark has encountered this before. So please check out Mark Munnerlyn. He is very involved in the clock community on social media, and he's a friend of mine, and he puts out a lot of videos on Cuckoo Clock repair and other clocks as well. So definitely check him out. So I've sped up the video feed. I can't clean that fast, not in real life, wish I could. But this clock is really turning around. Okay, we're gonna let the case dry for a little bit, and I want to show you a trick my dad taught me in cleaning up weights and chains. So I'm using some furniture paste wax and an old holy sock, and tell you what, it really brings these weights alive. You can see the difference there. It just gives it a bit of a shine, and just makes them look new again. So yeah, the furniture paste wax, I think that I got this from Lowe's. It is terrific for weights. And then also let's say your chains are looking a little rough, there's dust in there and maybe a tiny bit of surface rust. Well, get a holy sock, get a tiny bit of paste wax, and start to run those chains through. I like to run it one way all the way down and then grab it from the other end and take it through. And you might have to do this more than 2 times, just depending on the chain, but it really makes a difference in the chain and cleaning it and getting that stuff on the surface off of the chain, which can then, can fall off inside the movement. But this is a way that you can clean up chains. There is a point where a chain, you probably don't want to use it anymore or put it back into a movement because it's just too rough. But I think these were salvageable, so I didn't end up getting new chains for it. And it just took a little bit of time, and they started looking better. I think I had to do one of the chains several times to get it to where I wanted. And they're looking, this one on the left looks so much better than the one on the right. Still a little bit there, but just got to keep working it, trying to get those little places. All right, that's looking a lot better. Really impressed with what that paste wax does. I'm gonna go back over this first chain because there was still just a little bit of, a tiny bit of surface rust I wanted to remove, and it's starting to really look better. So that's a way you can clean up some chains and weights. Next, I want to use this Howard's Restore Finish. This has been a go-to for me for a while on clocks, because what it is you get a clock and the wood's looking kind of old, dry, and this has like a tiny bit of a stain. Like you said, this one is a cherry. So anyways, what it does is, I don't know, it just works magic into your wood and just bringing back its vibrance, and especially if you got like some little cracks or just some areas where it's discolored. I don't know what's in it, but it is amazing. I've used it on several clocks, and I use the cherry, I think, the most for the clocks I've worked on. But as you can see, man, look at that. It just really brightens it up, and I'm using a paintbrush to try to get it into those little nooks and crannies on the clock. But it works fantastic. So look how this just pops after I do that. It just really gave it some vibrance and made it look much better. They've got several different shades. Like I said, it's Howard's Restore Finish. You can get it at lots of different places, and it's not too expensive. So it's worth it to take your time here and just try to get into all the areas where that Restore Finish can just bring life back to the wood. Some of these parts can be a little tedious trying to get the Restore Finish into all the little carvings and grooves. But just do your best with a paintbrush and then go back over it with a rag, and it works wonders. Don't forget about doing the bottom of the clock, because you know when it's on the wall, people can look up and see the bottom. And wow, look at that. It is stunning. And we can't forget our little birdie. So I'm just gonna wipe him down. Some of the older cuckoos that have wooden birds, the wings actually move. This one doesn't. Next, this is something Mark Munnerlyn showed me to clean cuckoo hands. Soap, water, and an old toothbrush works really well. Cleaning cuckoo hands, and there's times when I actually got to use my fingernail a tiny bit, but the abrasiveness of the toothbrush is perfect for this, and can really, sometimes hands can just look pretty rough. You know, the oils from our skin get on there, dirt and stuff for ages, and then it just takes a little bit of time, and you can get it cleaned up and looking like new. Okay, so I did find a pendulum and a topper to use. I found the topper on eBay. I measured the gable, just added a little bit beyond that, and I found the right size, and I spray painted it, and I took the facade off and spray painted that, and now here it is. If you take your time cleaning up a cuckoo clock, it's amazing, just the sense of accomplishment and the joy it can bring you when knowing how it started. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I'm going to have more videos about clocks coming out, so please like and subscribe. And subscribe to my friend Mark Munnerlyn and check out his cuckoo videos. I've listed them in the description. Thank you for watching.